Hey, welcome to another session of Motivation WOD. I want to talk about something today that's very, very hard, and it involves all of us. I recently learned that the limbic system is the part of the brain that connects the right side of the brain, right hemisphere, and the left side of the brain. And these two parts have different functions. One part is more logical, one part is more experiential. The main function of the limbic system is to activate survival mode, or basically it keeps us in a state of normalcy, how we feel about the world around us. And this starts at a really, really young age. 2 years old is when the limbic system starts to kick in, and the child, the person, begins to experience whether or not the world is safe. And so the limbic system does its job. The child begins to find ways to cope, ways to feel normal. And of course, this is unique and different per individual, what makes us feel normal, based on our appetites, our talents, our personalities. One of the things that was very intriguing to me about the limbic system is there's only three areas in which it responds. Three types of areas that have to do with survival. And they are safety, sex, and food. That these three are the most basic of human needs. We want to feel safe, we have a sexual drive or a sexual nature, and we have to eat. And these are the three areas the limbic system responds, and that means within these three areas we're going to find something to pull on, basically, that helps us cope with an unsafe world. And I see an interesting correlation with fitness and trying to train personally and training other people. And that is, food is largely based around entertainment. Everywhere we go, right? It's at work in the mornings, donuts and candy. Every holiday, there's all kinds of crazy food. Every gathering we get together, there's always this understanding that food will be present, and without food it's not a good time. And so most of us deal with food as a sort of addiction, a sort of coping mechanism, because life is hard and we don't always understand our deepest emotions and our darkest fears, but they are there. You do have dark fears, you do have deep emotions, and you don't always understand why you have to have that piece of chocolate every night. Yes, it is a sugar addiction, but how did the addiction begin is sometimes a huge, huge mystery. And there are things that, again, start when we're 2 years old, ways of coping, ways of feeling normal. And food is one of the easiest ones. And we can see this with the child obesity rate these days, that children are coping with food, and there is no encouragement for them to stay physically active as well. So we are fighting major, major battles. Not to mention, the world is a very unsafe place. And so the urge to feel safe and to experience sexual things and to eat food is huge. This is a huge problem, and we can go on and on and on about all the different correlates, but here's the main thing. We have to do something about who we are on the inside so that we can handle these urges. Feeling safe, the emotions are anxiety, fear, anger, depression, numbness, just a long list of deep emotions. The sexual part is easy to understand. We understand that sexual addiction is involved with this. And then the food part is very easy to understand too. We would much rather eat refined carbs and salty foods or sugary foods than meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. What I want to tell you is, if you want to be the absolute best you can be at your sport, keeping yourself healthy, you've got to get into your mind. You've got to understand who you are at your deepest, deepest level. That's my encouragement. You've got to know who you are. And that's a hard thing to do, but you've got to figure out how to start. Don't hesitate to ask yourself, why do I feel the way I do? Why do I run to this? Or you may just even have to start with, am I running to anything? You may be completely unaware of what's really happening. I'll talk more about the limbic system, the way survival modes work, and how that affects our fitness in another episode. See you later.